Hello, my name is Tori Johnson, and my speech will be to persuade medical universities to eradicate the MCAT after the year 2023. Pursuing a career in medicine is difficult in itself, but imagine that you are an African American or other minority pre-medical student going down this route as well. Aside from your astounding 3.8 GPA, interpersonal skills, and a crystal clear drive to be a doctor, your biggest obstacle that is stopping you from attaining your dreams is a standardized test, which in recent years shows to disproportionately cater to your competition, the white Anglo-Saxon population. Even more so, being denied adequate study materials and knowledge of the given coursework. This being said, today I'd like to discuss with you all the reasons that I believe that medical institutions should abolish the MCAT permanently after the year 2023. Unfortunately, the MCAT does not acknowledge the blatant racism in the medical field that it allows, simply due to the fact that someone scored higher on a test. It is said that the MCAT is a supposed measure of intelligence, but I believe that it has failed to do so time and time again. The brightest of minds have fallen victim to the MCAT simply because of the lack of proper study materials and stereotypes. Minorities on average score lower on the MCAT due partially to socioeconomic disadvantages. The National Library of Medicine further confirms this statement. From 2008 to 2011, the MCAT committee was charged with conducting a comprehensive review of the exam. The four examined issues were: 1. Whether racial and ethnic groups differ in mean MCAT scores. 2. Whether any scores are different due to test biases. 3. How different groups may be explained. And 4. Whether the MCAT is a barrier to medical school admission for Black and Latino applicants. This analysis further confirmed that Black and Latino examinees, races that are classified as minorities in the United States, had mean MCAT scores lower than that of white examinees. These differences are not due to differences in aptitude, but due to differences in opportunities. The Journal of General Internal Medicine also touches on the predetermined category of minorities suffer bias, even more so following the MCAT. And I quote, "From the entrance into medical school, throughout the residency application process, organizational factors such as reliance on standardized tests to predict future success, a hostile learning climate, and racially biased performance metrics negatively impact the careers of trainees of color, particularly those underrepresented in medicine." End quote. Newsweek also states, unlike most of their peers, minorities often do not have access to resources like expensive exam preparation courses that can cost up to $10,000. And as you can see in this visual aid, that white American students, which are represented in blue, take up more than 50% of this pie chart, which further iterates the fact that they are at an advantage when it comes to African American students, which is in black, and Hispanic students, which are in red. The Association of American Medical Colleges states that to be a good doctor, one needs the ability to treat a person, not just a condition, be a good listener, and lastly, be up to date on the most recent medical knowledge. Out of those three characteristics to be a good doctor, it was not once stated that an individual needed to excel on a standardized test. On the contrary, if a high MCAT score was a good doctor trait, it does not negate the fact that many physicians and residents have biases when it comes to treating African American patients, which was revealed by the PNAS journal. Lack of diversity in the healthcare workforce risk undermining trust in patient health. But we cannot have that diversity if this one standardized test is stopping minorities from pursuing medicine. Many others may believe that if individuals cannot pass a simple standardized test, then they should not be pursuing the field that they wish to. However, St. Petersburg College states, a standardized test made for a standard student cannot accurately determine the intelligence and performance of an individual. End quote. In fact, the Annals of Internal Medicine state the MCAT is not strongly correlated with the overall medical performance. End quote. In addition, if standardized tests were required for every occupation, the percentage of people without jobs would increase due to the simple fact that standardized tests are more of a skill-based examination. PubMed states, the lower mean MCAT scores of underrepresented groups can present challenges to diversifying the physician workforce if medical schools only admit those applicants with higher MCAT scores. End quote. And many others, including myself, know that the inclusiveness for the healthcare field is long overdue. Today, I have elaborated on the social, economic, and political issues regarding the MCAT and viable reasons as to why the MCAT should be abolished. Minorities and African American students are expected to score higher and higher percentiles even when they are faced with inadequate supplies and equipment. In addition, they are already categorized based off of race and socioeconomic status. This topic is very controversial and a logical reason for determination of the MCAT. Thank you.